Good morning, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about this new sword that I got. This is the bamboo fast cutter from the Musashi brand. It's an old sword. It's been on the market for a really long time. It goes on and off the market because it's not produced in as high of quantities as other swords are. Um, I've already done a little bit of customization to it, probably going to do a little more. I replaced the Sageo with this much nicer Japanese Sageo. This thing really has been one I liked from the beginning of when I started collecting, and I have not been collecting swords for very long. It's only been about 2.5 years. But I really like ones that are classic, and you can find videos about them on YouTube from forever ago. This one was made by uh, Paul Southern from SBG, or designed by him. And so then there's also that aspect to it that's kind of cool. The box had a bunch of people who were shout out who reviewed it. So I thought that was kind of a cool little thing about it. It's an older sword, I can tell, just because there's like kind of wear and tear on this already on the metal. But I kind of like that. It makes it look a little bit more used. One thing that's really cool, I don't know if this is visible, but it's got really pretty big nodules here. For a $200 sword, that's like pretty good actually. So pretty happy with it. One of the reasons I wanted it really bad was because it has the small Suba guard style, and this is a famous sword in Japan, famous style from Uesugi Kenshin. He had two swords that he had mounted this way, where they had no guard, which I think is really cool, and it actually changes the feel of the sword tremendously. The cuts have a little bit more authority, and there's a little bit more ability to kind of reach up higher. Now you have to be careful with doing that because you can easily get your finger caught on the blade. But it's a fun way to kind of try something different. And one of the other reasons I got this was because one of the swords I have that also looks like this now is my Nihonto. And this one looks the handle looks almost identical to the one from Uesugi Kenshin's collection. This is a very, very cool style handle. The Suka is only about 10 inches, but it's got this really cool curve to it. So the blade is straight, but then the Suka curves, which makes the cut feel very, very different than anything I own. And so when I saw this sword again on Amazon, I was like, you know what? I've been wanting this one for a while. I'm going to get it. And it looks a lot like other styles I have. I'm starting to become a little bit obsessed with this style, and it makes me want to take all the Subas off of my swords and replace them with small ones. This sword originally had a different Suba. I now have that Suba just hanging on my wall because it's an antique, and I think it came from a different era than the sword itself. But one of my favorite things about this is it changed the balance of the sword. When I first started using the sword, it felt very weird and wonky. And I think it had to do with the Suba weighing quite a bit, so it ended up making the balance feel weird to me. But when I took off the Suba and replaced it with this one, this is just a simple brass, like invisible Tonto Suba that I carved to fit this sword. So this one is cool because it matches my Nihonto and in a way that is nice, and I can use this with no fear of damaging it. So it feels almost the same, which is really cool too. It has a very similar balance point. My Nihonto is more blade heavy because it has no fullers whatsoever. It's pretty thick, robust blade, but because it's balanced and refined, it feels almost the same. This is also another cool feature of this sword is it has a double fuller, which is really nice. And it also has a unique steel. It is a 1060 clay tempered steel, which to me is pretty rare. I don't think I see that very often on the market. I think Rhinestone does that, but I don't think I've seen anybody else really mess with that steel and make it clay tempered. It also has this awesome little symbol here, which is really cool, bamboo themed. And then yeah, you can see how it doesn't have that guard, so you can kind of rest it pretty easily. I ended up putting a little bit of an acid etch on it to bring out the hamon. You can see it pretty well now, which is nice. I like to do that with cheap swords because no harm, no foul, you know. But it came very sharp. It cut right out of the box. Didn't have to even strop it or anything. I probably will down the road. But yeah, I really wanted something that was similar to my Nihonto, that was fast and small. And this is all those things. I've had my eye on it for a while too, because I just thought it looked really cool with the profile of not having a guard. I have another sword that's like this too, my Drem sword Nodachi. It's like a smaller Nodachi. It's got like a really nice looking, clean aesthetic to it. And there's just something about the way these look when they're in their saya that I'm a huge fan of. I just feel like they have like kind of almost a very simplistic, elegant look to them without a Suba guard. So yeah, this is the Musashi Fast Cutter. I did a video with it yesterday. I'm probably gonna just use it for the rest of the month because I'm really happy with it and I really like it, and I just want to see what I can do with it, what kind of cuts I can pull with it. But yeah, this thing is a cool sword. I would recommend it if you're looking for something that's got a little bit of a unique kind of look and presence to it. This is a great buy, and it's cheap too. I think you can get it from anywhere to 150 to 200, so really not a bad deal. Doesn't break the bank, but it also comes with quite a bit of good features. The Ito is a cotton, which I actually really prefer cotton over like the rayon silk. It's so much more like, I don't know, you can grip it easier, and I don't feel like it slips as much, and I don't feel like it wears out as quickly. I'm gonna lacquer this. I also highly recommend, if you get a budget sword, to just lacquer the Suka. You don't have to do it a bunch of times. I would recommend just like one coat on each side and then press it in with your hands. That helps to really lock everything in place, even if it's not loose, because like these aren't loose, but over time they probably will with how much I use swords. So if you're going to use it every day to cut, or you know, like pretty frequently, it's not a bad idea. And with cotton, what's nice, in comparison to the like fake silk, cotton doesn't give that like plastic feel when it gets a lacquer put on it. It actually feels almost exactly the same. It's just tighter. So that's something I would recommend if you buy this sword and are going to use it really frequently, is to just lacquer the Suka. But yeah, I just thought they would look really cool side by side. They have a very similar aesthetic without the Suba, and they are kind of my little nod to the famous sword. I will put the name and picture right here, but Uesugi Kenshin's swords, which were this style without a guard. And I just think they're really fun to use, and they're really different, and they're aesthetically really pleasing. So yeah, this is the bamboo fast cutter from the Musashi line of swords. I recommend it. I think it's a really cool sword for what it's worth, and it offers quite a bit of things. And it's an older sword. It's been around on the market for a really long time. It's got some history to it. There's some backyard cutter history with this sword too. So yeah, if you want to pick this one up, I recommend it. I really like it. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Tone Deaf out.